All right, everybody, let's go ahead and get into this game. It's going to be HerO versus CrunCher, Team Liquid versus Complexity. The map will be good old Terminus SE. Cannot wait to see both of these players in their debut for season number 2.
Yeah, we have two great Protoss players here. Now, PvP is one of those weird matchups. Sometimes you see macro games, and sometimes you see games don't go past the 10-minute mark.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it's been a lot about 4-gate, but it has evolved quite a bit, I do have to say. There are little tiny things that we've seen that have just changed quite a bit. Really, it all came down to that warp gate timing that changed a lot of things. In my opinion, it made 4-gate a lot more manageable, just because it comes just that a little bit time later. But you know what? I think just PvP has evolved quite a bit. The counter to 4-gate is just scouting it and knowing it's coming, and you just do a defensive 4-gate.
You just have a couple more probes, defensive 4-gate, and you have the advantage.
Exactly.
Interesting.
So we'll see. It's all going to come down to that first initial scout, if they can get inside their bases. Normally you will be able to do that, but we'll see what these players do. We do see that HerO is scouting, and CrunCher is scouting both on the gateway the probe. One thing I do want to mention, HerO went a 12 gateway and then put down the chrono boost onto his Nexus, and actually has not, oh excuse me, no, he hasn't put down the second chrono boost. So this is still the first chrono boost. He's only used one. CrunCher, however, used 2. That's your big difference. This is more of the Korean style type of play. It gets out such a fast initial gateway and cybernetics core. You actually have a really, really fast 4-gate coming out.
Yeah. I mean, if a probe gets here and scouts this, if Complexity CrunCher scouts this, then he would know that a 4-gate was probably on the way from noticing the chrono boost.
But what this really cuts out is your ability to take that second assembler, because you're putting all your chrono boost. We can see it's already up to 75 mana. You're going to put all your chrono boost towards that warp gate. It's not bad by any means, but you know, it really, really showcases what you're going to do. Still, the inevitable units that's going to be coming out is very, very hard to stop. And oh my goodness, look at this. CrunCher actually putting down an assimilator. This is going to be so difficult for him to stop this, because he's going a 2-gate play to start things off.
Yeah, absolutely. We do have the probe that finally entered HerO's base, and he does scout that right off the bat that the cybernetics core is getting chrono boosted, and there's a lot of energy left on that Nexus. So he should know by now what is coming his way. And the question is, how is he going to react to that? It's funny, he actually sent a couple probes to go and start mining his second gas.
Yeah, that is fine, actually. You can go ahead, get that stalker out, but what you want to do is spend all your chrono boosts on the gateways. And I'm sorry, I misspoke. I meant to say 2 assimilator, and then I was already thinking in my head there's a second gateway coming out. It is a double assimilator, but what he should be doing is not putting on the warp gates, because you're not going to beat your opponent to the warp gate. Instead, just focus on getting that defense, get those sentries up, make sure you have at least 3, then you can perma force field. And oh no, CrunCher is actually going mass stalkers. This could be very troublesome for him.
Yeah, I definitely think he read his opponent wrong so far, and he might pick off the probe. Oh, yes, but pylon already went down, and another probe is on its way. And you know, a lot of times they drop that pylon at the bottom so they could just warp up on the high ground, even if they get a force field off. Pretty good stalker micro here, but it's just, the question is it going to be enough? It's
going all the way into the base. Looks like the probes are actually doing a great job of microing this, and oh my god, it looks like this one stalker will be able to take out this Zealot, but more units are back here. Oh my god, double proxy pylon all the way on the top. It looks like this one stalker, after killing that other stalker, will go down. Here's the big warping coming in right now. 3 stalkers against 2 stalkers. Is CrunCher going to be able to save this? I'm not sure completely. It's a very long way until he gets his units, and look at that. There's the 2 warp gates that are warping in units, but still, it's just even units already. There's a lot of damage being done right now. 3 probes go down. Now an additional Zealot is going to come up here. 2 stalkers being warped in the right-hand side. CrunCher calls out GG, and HerO is going to take the first match. You know, and critically, he was not chrono boosting out the right right things. He should really chrono boost those gateways. He noticed, holy crap, that's 75 energy, and you spent 25 energy on the warp gates already. I know exactly what's coming. You're going a very, very fast 4 warp gate push, and I'm going to have a better economy one than you. All I have to do is defend this, and I can win. CrunCher just not doing the correct build to respond against that.
He just did not react according to what he saw. He was just like, well,
Yeah.
I already had this build in mind. Might as well go through with it. But just you can't do that in PvP. You
Yeah,
have to, if
exactly.
you scout something like that where almost a Nexus had almost full energy after the first chrono boost. So, like, he was going straight for the fastest 4-gate you could do.
And one thing I do want to mention, if you have 2 sentries already out, you can actually force field. Each force field is 15 seconds. You can force field the ramp twice, and it's enough time for you to get an additional sentry out, so you have at least 3-4 sentries to work with, and it becomes very, very easy to always perma force field that ramp, and you stop any of that early game shenanigan, which is really, really important, of course, in that early game stage.
Right.
Unfortunately, CrunCher wasn't able to do that, and he lost to the inevitable 4-gate, that pressure that we've seen time and time again in PvP. Anyways, we're going to go into our second match and see if CrunCher can tie things up, or if HerO can really slam the book, nail in the coffin, anything you want to call it. Let's go ahead and move over to Dual Sight.